Hi, so I put you, that's where your desk needs to be. Go where you were. It just has to do with the camera angle. So that one will always be on the wall and Ava's will always be pushed out a little bit. One thing that we learned from the first match yesterday is that you answer questions, you be nice and loud and confident so that your sound gets all the way over to the laptop. Let's see. Which letter pod are you guys? And give me just a second. We're going to get our score sheet filled in. And I'll remind you to think about all of the stuff we talked about in terms of what behaviors look like. Like, you know, kind of go here. We want to try to keep things as normal as possible. Get my timer started. Okay, let us begin our match. Cool. So we begin. Toss-up number 1 is in miscellaneous sports. After becoming a star at Indiana University, he is back in Indiana after stints with the Orlando Magic and Oklahoma City Thunder. Name this NBA star traded to the Indiana Pacers in the Paul George deal. His family is of African heritage. So, incorrect. That was fine. The correct answer is Victor Oladipo. Number 2, language arts grammar. 2 answers are needed. Name the 2 parts of speech that may be described in detail by an appositive or a phrase set off by commas. Ava. Louder. Incorrect. That time they wanted 2 parts of speech. So the answer was noun and pronoun. Number 3, fine arts music. A 2019 production of this Broadway show was done entirely in Yiddish, the language that would have been spoken by the family in the show while living in Tsarist Russia. Name this tale of Tevye, his wife Golda, and their 5 daughters, whose songs include Sunrise, Sunset, and Matchmaker. That's fine. The correct answer is Fiddler on the Roof. Number 4 is in science, life science. The Greek, the Texas, and the Mojave Desert are all species of this creature, with several types that live on the Galapagos Islands. Name this large and slow reptile. It lives only on land and thus differs from turtles. Natalie, tortoise is correct. Does differs from turtles and can live on water. Toss-up 5 is in mathematics, general math, 30 seconds. Grab your pencil. Calculate the difference between 3 to the fourth power, and 4 to the third power. Carson, that's correct. So study history. 7 of gangster Bugsy Moran's men were killed by fellow gangster Al Capone in what Chicago organized crime event on February 14, 1929?
Anyone on the calendar committee, please come to Dr. Riley's office. Thank you.
James. That's correct. Don't overthink it. It was on February 14th. Number 7, language, arts, literature. The New Testament books of Romans, Galatians, and Hebrews, as well as the 2 books of Timothy, were written by which apostle who fought God at first before becoming a great preacher and writer and changing his name from Saul? Yeah. Correct. Paul. Currently 2020, tied evenly. Toss up 8, social studies, geography. What Canadian territory just north of British Columbia and just east of Alaska contains the gold rush area known as the Klondike? Ava. Incorrect. Correct answer is the Yukon territory. Number 9 is in science, general science. She was planning to conduct experiments and teach 2 lessons from the Space Shuttle Challenger. Name this teacher killed on January 28, 1986, when Challenger blew up a few seconds after launch. Time. Correct answer is Krista McCullough. Awesome. Oh, I think I should move the answer faces out there. Math, general math, 30 seconds. Pencils needed. If rolling 2 6-sided number cubes give as a fraction in lowest terms, the probability that on one roll you get a 10. Natalie, incorrect. That's time. The correct answer is 1/12. Science health. This type of drug may be given to people with kidney or heart problems who retain unusual amounts of water. Name this class of drugs that make you urinate more than usual, help to dehydrate you, and include dopamine and caffeine. That's time. The correct answer is a diuretic. Toss up 12 is in language arts spelling. Getting every toss-up right in a single Scholastic game is a major achievement. Spell achievement. Natalie? Incorrect. Carson. That's correct. I-E rather than E-I. Then there's an extra E. Very close. Now, 13 is in social studies current events. In February 2019, former coal lobbyist Andrew Wheeler was confirmed as the new head of what federal agency that supervises the National Exposure Research Laboratory and is designed to help keep air and water clean? Ava. Incorrect. That time, the correct answer is the Environmental Protection Agency, or EPA. Math algebra, 30 seconds. A square has a vertex at 5, 1. What are the coordinates of that vertex after the square has been translated 6 units to the left and 3 units down? Ava. That's correct. Social studies history. What city in upstate New York was the site of an 1848 Women's Rights Convention organized by Lucretia Mott and Elizabeth Cady Stanton? Natalie. What? Incorrect. Correct answer is Seneca Falls. Our current score, we are tied at 30-30. One of those neck and neck games. Miscellaneous popular culture. A film of this type is either a feature longer than 40 minutes or a short subject shorter than 40 minutes. Name this type of film defined by the Academy Awards as a non-fiction motion picture that is not promotional or instructional. Natalie. What? Incorrect. True. Documentary is correct. Science, earth science is the next toss-up. Give the scientific/geographic, or perhaps anatomical, term for the end of the stream that empties into a larger body of water, such as a lake or an ocean. Ava. Incorrect? Yes. That's time. Correct answer is the mouth. The mouth of a river. Fine arts art. His works include The View of Toledo and The Burial of Count Orgaz. Name this painter born on the island of Crete, who is most famous by his Spanish name. True. Incorrect. Ava. Incorrect. El Greco. Language arts vocabulary. In Jesus' day, this word was a coin of very little value, such as the ones donated by a widow that represented all of her living. Give this 4-letter word that is also a very small arachnid whose bites are itchy and whose types include bird and duck. Ava. Incorrect. time. Correct answer is might. Bird might or just might. Talk about mathematics, algebra, 30 seconds. Solve for x if 50 times x equals 4,450. Carson, incorrect. Ava, 89. Brings us back to a tie game. Social studies history. When England's glorious revolution of 1688 kicked out King James II, what pair of monarchs replaced him that lent their names to a Virginia college? Drew, incorrect. Correct answer is William and Mary. 22, mathematics, general math, 30 seconds. Express the number 35 billion in standard scientific notation. Time is called. Correct answer is 3.5 times 10 to the 10th power. Language arts. Well, it says language arts physical science, but I don't think that's right. I'm going to assume it's language arts mythology. While Hercules was fighting the Hydra, this creature pinched Hercules on the toe and promptly got crushed for its trouble. Name this crab of myth, now a sign of the zodiac for people born in late June and most. Natalie? Correct. Cancer. And most of July. 24, science, general science, described as irregular, elliptical, or spiral. It is held together by gravity, even when its diameter may be thousands of light years. Name this astronomical object, whose examples include the pinwheel, the sombrero, and our own Milky Way. Ava. Incorrect. Drew. Galaxy. And you did it to me again. We're back at a tie game. That is the end of our 24 toss-up questions. So we will take a quick 1-minute hot break. If you want to stand up, stretch your brain. I don't know. Ava's going to do actual dances. Sometimes when you're in a Scholastic match, it just helps to eat and have a little physical movement after you've been sitting for a long time. We're 50-50.
I know.
She's also making sure the screen works.
I was.
It says there are 4 viewers, so we're doing great. Okay, let's go ahead and resume for the second half of our match. So I will remind you, now we will go into the bonus questions. So it'll be 4 questions that are all within the same category. In a normal match, we will go until 2:25, and we'll stop whenever we get to there. Because we lose, most of you at 2:15, we'll end our match at 2:15 today. And then we'll have a little bonus answer time for the 3 that are left. 1 on 2. But it won't count to the official score. So you've only got through the next 15 minutes to stop tying each other. Science. 4 parts in earth science. Identify these rocks that have become famous stones. Number 1, the large rock on the ground where the first pilgrims landed. James, Plymouth Rock is correct. Number 2, this Australian rock will soon be off limits to climbers. Zoe, incorrect. That's time. The correct answer is Ayers Rock. Number 3, this stone is in Cork, Ireland. It's said to give the gift of eloquence to anyone who kisses it. That time, it's called the Blarney Stone. Number 4, this dark rock is set in silver on the outer wall of Islam's central shrine in Mecca. And that time, it's the Black Stone. Let's go to language arts literature. Answer these title characters of Grimm's fairy tales. Number 1, she was always told to let down her hair. Ava, Rapunzel. Number 2, she was doomed to prick her finger. Ava, Sleeping Beauty. Prick her finger on a spindle no matter what. Number 3, this dwarf tried to hide his name from others, but was found out. Hannah. Hannah. Okay, I can only give you 5 points because you have to wait to be recognized first. So you are correct. Number 4, she was hunted down by the glass slipper. Natalie. Cinderella. Number 3, social studies, 4 parts in civics. In any order, name the 4 U.S. presidents. Hold on, let me back up. So there's not 4 specific questions for this. I'm going to give you the question and there are 4 answers to it. We will take 4 back and forth. So if Natalie buzzes in and gets it wrong, they have a chance to answer. Once they answer, somebody from over here can go back and forth. Does that make sense? Yes. We are looking for 4 in any order. So it's a little weird. They don't have these questions all the time, but they do come up every so often. But it's a good question. In any order, name the 4 U.S. presidents whose first names begin with the same letter as their last names. I'm going to take it, Ava. That's one of them. Okay, so you get 1 for that. Now it resets. Anybody who buzz in can name one of the other 3. Carson. That's another one. It resets. Anybody can buzz in if you know one of the other two. That's time. The other two you could have come up with were Calvin Coolidge and Herbert Hoover. Let's see, we're going to go to math, but you do not need your pencil. These are only 10 seconds. Give these math terms. Number one, the point 0, 0 on an XY plane. Ava. Incorrect. Carson. It's called the origin. Yep. Number two, the result of a multiplication. Natalie. Correct? That was scary. Number three, 7 has this relationship to 49, while 5 has this relationship to 25. Ava. Incorrect. I mean, you are correct, but for what they're looking for, incorrect. That's time. The correct answer is the square root. Number 4, the branch of math that uses letters like X and Y. True. Algebra is correct. Number 5, miscellaneous 4 parts in popular music. Answer these about popular Christmas songs. Number 1, according to the carol, we wish you a Merry Christmas. What 2-word treat is demanded? James. Figgy pudding. Number 2, in the 12 days of Christmas, what item does my true love give on the 10th day? Ava. That's correct. Number 3, the Guinness Book of World Records says that the Bing Crosby version of this Irving Berlin song is the best-selling single of all time. Natalie. Incorrect. Carson. White Christmas. Number 4, according to the Christmas song, who is nipping at your nose? Ava. Jack Frost. Number 6, science, life science. Answer these about your lungs. Number 1, these 2 tubes between the trachea and the lungs distribute and transport air to both locations. True. Incorrect. Time, the correct answer are the bronchi. Number 2, most work in the lungs is completed within these tiny air sacs. Time, the correct answer is alveoli. Number 3, this sheet of muscle separates the thoracic cavity, where the lungs are located, from the abdominal cavity. That's time. If it's a muscle involved with your lungs, the diaphragm. Number 4, this thin, tough membrane covers the outer surface of each lung. That's time. The correct answer is the pleura. I'm not even sure if I'm saying that right. Language arts, 4 parts in vocabulary. By the way, we are at 125, 110. Identify these words that begin with the letters Q, U. Number 1, an epic journey in search of adventure. Natalie. West. Number 2, a place where stone and rock is removed from the ground. Carson. Corey. Not 215. Okay. Top above your head. Number 3, the smallest number of members in a group that must meet before business can be conducted. That's time. It's called a quorum. Number 4, a female monarch. James. Queen. 135, 130. Social Studies history, name these U.S. presidents. Number 1, he kept a sign on his desk, the buck stops here. Time, the correct answer is Harry Truman. Number 2, he was nicknamed Old 8 to 7 after his 1876 election victory over Samuel Tilden. Natalie. Incorrect. Time, correct answer is Rutherford B. Hayes. Number 3, the Arts and Industries Building within the Smithsonian opened in 1881 to coincide with his inauguration. They're all old presidents right now. The answer is James Garfield. Number 4, he signed a congressional resolution to annex Texas on March 1st, 1845, just before he left office. Natalie. Incorrect. Correct answer is John Tyler. Fine arts, 4 parts in music. Tell the number of strings on each of these instruments. Number 1, xylophone. Natalie. Incorrect. Correct answer, and it's not a very nice question of them, 0. Number 2, banjo. Zoe. 4 is correct. 4, 5, or 6. Apparently banjos come in all varieties. Number 3, viola. Ava. Incorrect. Carson. Incorrect. 4. And number 4, harp. Zoe. Incorrect. Carson. Incorrect. You can offer commentary on that. The correct answer is 46 or 47. Science, 4 parts in general science. This may be our final question. We're at 145 to 130. Identify the scientist associated with these accomplishments. Number 1, he postulated that a body at rest tends to remain at rest unless acted upon by an outside force. Natalie? Correct? Isaac Newton. Number 2, this woman founded the Gombe Stream Research Center in 1965, where students could study great apes. Sorry. All right. I'm going to throw the question out. Because I didn't get it. What were you going? That would have been correct. I'm not throwing it out since that wasn't clear. And that's what you do. Like, you just let the moderator know, like, hey, it's not resetting. Number 3, this famous Ivan became even more famous after performing his stimulus response experiments with salivating dogs. Correct answer was Pavlov. Number 4, while viewing cork under a microscope, this English scientist of the 1600s was the first to see cells within a larger object. That's time. The correct answer is Robert Hooke. With that, we conclude our match. We have a final score of Pod D with 155, Pod E 130. Congratulations, both teams. You did your first one. It'll get easier and it'll make more sense. So we'll try to do each of the following. You 3 who are leaving over here, if you can real fast, grab up your cores and your boxes and like throw your own paper away and leave your buzzer on like this desk up here. Parsons has to stay because he is connected to all of golf. Drew. Now, if we threw that question out since the buzzers were on reset for everyone to buzz in. So unfortunately, we threw that question out that way. It's fair to both sides. We thank our streaming friends for watching us, and we'll see you next time.